What's up, guys? It is me, your man, Robert. So, listen, today we are gonna sell a hair dryer which comes as a combination with a hot air brush. So, it's a hair dryer and a hot air brush at the same time. So let's say that's what you have in your store. So, how do you sell this item? Easy, guys. You tell a story. That's it. You tell a story. So our hero for this story today is gonna let's call her Kathy, right? And as usual, we are going to start our story, right in the middle of the action while implying a question, right? You want to start like, bam, make people say, what happened, right? Okay, so let's start. First line could be something like, Kathy winces in pain as the handcuffs click close on her wrists, right? Bam, right there. We are starting right in the middle of the story, and at the same time implying several questions. Now, your audience, they want to know, who is this Kathy, right? Why is she being handcuffed? What happened? What went down, right? That's what everybody wants to know. They're already into the story just like that. Bam. So let's go on. The handcuffs are too tight. But before she can complain, the cop puts his hand on top of her head, pushes her inside the police car, right? The cruiser, and slings the belt around her shoulder, the safety belt, clicks it in. Kathy tries to protest. She's like, wait. But the cop ignores her, steps back, just slams the door, the car door on Kathy's face. And that's it, guys. The paragraph is done. That paragraph, you basically leave your audience hanging right there. They have to come back now and find out, what the heck, who's this Kathy chick? What the heck happened? What's her story? The key thing though is you don't answer any of those implied questions like, who's Kathy, what's going on, what's the story. You're not gonna answer them immediately. You're gonna do all that at the end of the story. And another thing, guys, you didn't even mention your item for sale, which is the hair dryer thing. You didn't even mention it. Your audience is just in the story, right? So we move on. Paragraph number 2. So for this paragraph, we're gonna do the exact same thing, guys. Like paragraph 1, which is starting with a bang, right in the middle of the action. That is, making the audience full of questions, right? Implying questions. But, and this is the key difference here, guys. But in this paragraph, the questions we imply here, we have to answer them, right? It's good to keep your audience guessing, but you gotta supply some solutions, right? So, continuing this story about Kathy, we can let's start the second paragraph. We can start with something like, Kathy tries to dodge, but instead trips and falls forward. So already we're starting with action. Okay, she tries to trip and falls forward right in the arms of danger. Bam, right there. See what you did? Start in action. Start in the middle of the action. She trips, falls forward in the arms of danger. So what danger, right? What danger is she falling into, right? Now the audience is they're into the story. They want to know what danger this is, and they still don't know who this Kathy chick is, but they don't care. They're just in the story. Yeah, right? So leave them hanging with the questions. But now we're gonna answer this danger question. What is she falling? Why is she falling? What is she falling into? So we continue the story. Danger in this case happens to be a tall, powerful looking female inmate, the only other person locked in the jail with her. Right? Through the jail bars, Kathy can see the cops, the jail officers. They're not even paying attention to them. They just lock them in there, left them in there alone. So there's no one to save her in case something happens, right? And she fell into danger. Danger being this powerful chick, right? And she starts just crushing her, right? Because she was dodging something. The one thing though that scares Kathy the most about this female prisoner is not that she's tall and powerful. No, not that. It's the look on her face. It's not the look of a normal person, guys. This inmate has a different kind of look. Do you know what look that is? She has a crazy person look, guys. And Kathy, the reason why Kathy fell forward while trying to dodge is because this guy threw something at her for no reason, no provocation. And Kathy just instinctively tried to dodge, right? This chick, she got a bucket full of something, threw it at Kathy. Kathy tried to dodge just by instinct, right? And she trips and falls right in the arms of this chick. So she doesn't even have time to look at the contents of the bucket. But you know what she does? She can smell. It smells real bad. And there's only one thing that can smell that bad in a jail cell, in a bucket. What is it? Feces. Bam. And you end the paragraph right there. You end the paragraph, the second paragraph, you end it right there. So you answered all the questions implied in this paragraph, which was basically the reason why Kathy was falling and tripping, right? Because she's trying to dodge. She's trying to dodge, and you've also left them with a cliffhanger because how she's now, she fell into the arms of this chick. So how will she deal with her? How will she deal? She's in a death grip, basically, from this tall, powerful female. So moving on, you've answered the questions and left them with another question, which is how will Kathy deal with this chick? So start your third paragraph now. You start with something like, the officer grabbed her by the hair and yanked hard, right? Yanked her real hard. Bam! That's the start of the third paragraph. Right there. You've started right in the middle of the action, and questions were implied. Why is Kathy being yanked by the hair? She hasn't done anything, right? Let's go on. Let's find out what's going on. The audience wants to know. I want to know, right? Going on. She screams as the big tall officer grabs one of her flailing arms. He's got her by the hair, so her arms are flailing around. And then the cop grabs one of the arms, and while still getting the hair, so he starts pulling her out of the cell. One hand on the hair, one hand on the arm, just pulling her. Kathy collapses to the floor. She's in pain. She's in pain from the grip, the death grip that this crazy chick had on her. And as she looks up to see the cop throwing the other powerful female, the female inmate basically that was locked with Kathy, She looks up to see the cop throwing her in another jail cell that has a different kind of door, not bars this time, but just a door with a small window to look into. So now we know that the cop was not even dragging Kathy. He was dragging the other inmate who was crazy. They knew she was crazy, but they just locked her up in there. Right? So you answered the question. You started with intrigue, thinking that Kathy was the one being drugged, but as the story went on, we found out that it wasn't Kathy. So paragraph number 4, which can be our last paragraph. You can start with, Kathy went flying, right, and landed right on top of him. Bam. Right there, again. Started right in the middle of the action. Everybody's like, what the heck happened? Why is she flying? Why is she landing on top of him? Right? Who is she landing on top of, first of all? Right? Wasn't she in jail? What's going on? So they have to read on, or they have to watch, depending on how you're delivering your story. Those implied questions, they have to keep reading or getting engaged in the story to find out. Right? So now let's answer those questions. As well, since this is the last paragraph, by the way, we're also going to answer the questions from the first paragraph, as well as maybe introduce our product. So, going on. Easy, the cop laughs as he gently, pushes Kathy from on top of him. He's a different cop. He's not the same cop that, arrested her. He looks older. Matter of fact, let's say he's the chief of that prison, of that jail rather. Chief, let's call him Chief Fritz, right? So Kathy's all embarrassed now. Her face is all red. It's not from embarrassment. She's just happy. It's from excitement. So she goes, that's why she's jumping on top of him. You're telling me I'm free to go? Her eyes are like popping, right? Her eyes are popping. So this cop, Chief Fritz, that's what his thing says right here. He says, he just nods, right? So Kathy wants to know, but why? So the cop puts his hand on her shoulder. 2 things, he says, right? So Kathy can't imagine what that could be, because she certainly doesn't know anybody powerful enough, to pull strings for her to get out of jail. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, what things? So the cop says, first thing, your product made my wife very happy on her deathbed, right? He's crying tears right now. So Kathy is shocked. My product? Kathy, so this cop goes on. She died 2 months ago from breast cancer. He's choking now, tears rolling. From your arresting record, I saw that you run the company that makes the hair brush she loved. So Kathy is speechless. That's her product. She sells that stuff. So the cop says that her product made the cop made his wife feel beautiful after chemo, because she had cancer. And for that, I want to thank you, he tells Kathy. So Kathy is like, whoa, who would have thought? Her product, right? Her hairdryer. So, and the chief goes on. And the second reason is the person who accused you has a history of false accusations, right? So Kathy now knows that somebody accused her, right? Somebody accused her of what? She says. I mean, she is stunned, right? So we are answering the questions from the first paragraph. We're finding out why she's in jail. So she's like, what did she accuse me of, right? The chief says, the chief, that other older cop, he says, she said that she came to your store and you attacked her. Kathy can't even remember the last time she had a fly. Like she's never done anything like that, right? She can't even remember. So the cop says the emergency room doctor called us and says that it's not, it looks like it's a self-inflicted wound. And the cop who took the call basically just rushed the decision to come and arrest you. So Kathy's like, dang, small town justice, right? She lives in a small town. If she was in a big town like LA or New York, it would have been different, because cops take a longer time to arrest you. They know they'll be sued. So all she can think of is small town justice. But the good thing is, she was only in jail for 5 hours. So she decides, you know what, I'm just gonna live it through, right? It was only 5 hours. I received good news about my product. Because I sell it in my shop. I own the product, right? So she just hugs the chief, and the story ends in a happy ending. So what you did is you tied all the loose ends together, right? You showed why Kathy was arrested, what happened, the jail story. You go from top to bottom, just implying questions and answering them after the implication, right? That's how you tell a story. You imply questions and you answer them later. You keep the audience waiting, right? And like I said, you can do that through video, email, or blog posts, right? So you also introduced your product as a thing within the story, right? You didn't just show up and say, hey, buy my product. No, it was just a thing in the story. It was part of the story. So you just link to it. You put a link to your product after the end of the story, because a lot of your audience will have stayed till the end. Because one, this is not a long story. It's a short story full of drama and suspense, right? So most of your audience will have stayed to till the end, and then there's a link right there. That's how you sell your story. That's how you sell your item, guys, with a story. Okay? See you in the next video.